straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, well, you're watching Firstpost. Welcome to the show. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, what is it about IPL, the Indian Premier League, and offering redemption to two fallen heroes have somehow turned their fortunes around? Winning an IPL trophy, is that the holy grail to change fortunes? Like it has for Kolkata Knight Riders winning captain and coach Shreyas Iyer and Gautam Gambhir. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. And speaking of heroes in turmoil, Kylian Mbappe is all of just 25, but the controversies and turbulence continue to swirl around him. He thought he'd catch a break by watching the Monaco Grand Prix this weekend, but that was not to be. More about that as well. And turmoil and Manchester United have been rather synonymous this season, but is the FA Cup triumph over Manchester City enough for manager Erik Ten Hag to remain at the helm of affairs at the club? The dressing room releases a heartfelt letter to its fans, even as the owners contemplate and talk the future ahead, holding talks with potential candidates for the manager gig. What is the road ahead for Manchester United? Bold decisions or listening to their fans? All of this coming your way, but first a look at the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with Formula One, Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc won the Monaco Grand Prix for the first time in his career. A collision between two Haas cars and Red Bull Sergio Perez resulted in a red flag that temporarily halted the race. However, after the restart, Leclerc managed to maintain control. McLaren's Oscar Piastri finished second and Ferrari's Carlos Sainz came in third. Over in cricket, hosts West Indies handed a 3-0 whitewash to South Africa in a T20 international series. In the third T20I, South Africa posted 163 batting first. West Indies reached the finish line comfortably with 6 overs to spare. Brandon King and Johnson Charles shared an impressive 92-run partnership in the win. In football, Barcelona gave their sacked manager Javi Hernandez a winning send-off by beating Sevilla 2-1 in La Liga. Barca took the lead in the 15th minute through Robert Lewandowski. Fermin Lopez scored the winner in the 29th minute. Barcelona, with 85 points, finished second in the points table behind league winners Real Madrid. In tennis, over at the French Open, men's world number 3 Carlos Alcaraz of Spain has entered the second round, beating JJ Wolf in his opening match in straight sets. Alcaraz next faces Dutch tennis player Jasper de Jong in the second round. And former French Open champion Stanislas Wawrinka beat Andy Murray in straight sets as well. This was Murray's last French Open. And India's Deepa Karmakar made history at the Asian Gymnastics Championship in Uzbekistan. She bagged a gold medal in the women's vault apparatus. Karmakar's victory marks the first time an Indian gymnast has ever won a gold at the event. Deepa Karmakar only made a comeback to competitive gymnastics last year after a 21-month suspension due to a doping violation. Now, the Indian Premier League trophy seems to be retribution. All the criticisms, the slump, the backlash, and the agony can be wiped away by just this one trophy. It's like the Holy Grail that provides eternal youth and abundance, or that magic wand that you need to find to exorcise the biggest evil force. The IPL trophy is that. No wonder attaining it is near impossible. There's a reason why many teams are yet to win their first ever Indian Premier League title. It isn't easy. This year, a captain and a mentor have attained redemption. Picture this: you return from a back injury to take part in the ODI World Cup. You lose to Australia in the final. You have a horrid time in the longest format right afterwards. You're dropped from the test squad in the middle of a series. You are reportedly asked to play domestic cricket to improve your form. There is surely some sort of a disagreement in stance, because weeks later, you find yourself not contracted. The contract cancelled to the national side. That was Shreyas Iyer as he was preparing for the Indian Premier League. And he broke his silence on the whole saga right before the final against Hyderabad.
I was definitely struggling after the World Cup in the longer format. When I raised my concern, no one was agreeing to it. But at the same time, the competition was with myself. When IPL was approaching, all I wanted was to put my best foot forward. All I did was stay in the present and not think about what was going to happen to me or was worried about the selection process.
Now, Shreyas has never minced words. He's always been belligerent when put on the spot. And there was a quiet, cool confidence about him even before he took the field. If you look at the visuals behind me, especially from the photo op with Pat Cummins, the Hyderabad captain that captured the sights and sounds of India's southern city in Chennai, with the two captains sitting in an auto rickshaw, to being perched on a boat with the trophy between them, to the press conference where Shreyas is his own witty self. No fears of that coming back to haunt him. To the quirky coin toss at the final day as well. A very, very cool and clinical team performance. What a full circle life has come for this young batter. This despite talks of another title for Pat Cummins, because whatever team he's led in a final has crossed the finish line first. Shreyas finds himself in very elite company. Only 4 Indian captains have won the title before him, and of course you see it. It's a very, very prestigious lot just before him. MS Dhoni, of course, blissfully retired, but always a part of this. 5 titles to his name. Rohit Sharma, who's currently spearheading India's campaign at the T20 World Cup, also 5 titles. Hardik Pandya as well, coming in for Gujarat Titans with that 1 title. Gautam Gambhir, no surprises, who's won 2 titles, and of course Shreyas Iyer adding to that list this year under the mentorship of the man who knows what it means to win an IPL title. Gautam Gambhir knows how it's done. He knows the ways, the method in all of the madness. He's done this before as captain, and he did it again as coach and mentor. And it all started at the auction table, where Mitchell Starc was purchased for an insane amount. And the memes were launched of Kolkata having swallowed more than they could chew. But come the final, Starc was a beast. Again, he knows what pressure means, what playing in a final really requires. And he delivered, getting the meme factory to backtrack and coming out with some more. That ball that dismissed, the first ever wicket that dismissed head, what a delivery that was. Some saying, of course, it was the ball of the tournament. But really, the best feeling ever is when you're always proved right. Gambhir backed every single decision of his and the club. It was a process put into place months prior to the season. From the moment he took charge, you knew there was a plan, like with putting the faith in the West Indian veterans and Sunil Narine and Andre Russell, who've had a mixed season prior to that. Gambhir hoisted the most valuable player right after the win, and they carried him too. The love is evident. This meant something, and they both knew it most. Andre Russell hugging Gautam Gambhir, and what a moment that was. You knew this was special, and a very emotional Russell, of course, saying as much in the interaction right after the win. This was a collective plan fueled by the vision of one man, Gautam Gambhir, for whom this was another redemption of sorts, and seems to be the front-runner in the role for the coach of the Indian men's cricket team. And why not? He's touched something and it's turned gold. Jay Shah, who's the secretary of the Indian board, the BCCI, was spotted talking to the man with the Midas touch right after that final. What a turnaround year it has been for Gautam Gambhir. A couple of seasons with Lucknow that did not pan out the way it should have, with squabbles and tiffs that became more of a talking point than the way the team was playing. That's what IPL does. It offers you a chance at retribution, like it always has. You can go back to 2021. Chennai had its redemption too, to say that the year 2020, the COVID year, was an aberration, like it was for the world too. Chennai not qualifying for the playoffs for the very first time was a jolt in 2020, and they came back stronger with a vengeance the very next year to win the title. 2022. Hardik Pandya had his redemption. The previous year was hard, a career-threatening injury, seemingly foolish statements made on a talk show to get suspended from cricket. And then, of course, the IPL comes, and what a turnaround it was for him, winning the title with Gujarat Titans. That's what this tournament can do. It creates heroes and heroic moments that are testament to the biggest attributes of superstars in this field. To fight and give up, and not give up till the very end. Kolkata scripted something magical at Chepauk last night, and it made for a heartwarming moment for many. One man, though, is particularly most thrilled, and that's rapper Drake, who put a massive bet on Kolkata, and guess he has many more reasons now to be happy with that outcome. Manchester United, a club that has had a very topsy-turvy season, but a fall from grace from those glory days. From the trophy-laden phase of Sir Alex Ferguson that went on till 2013 to the dreadful 11 years post-Ferguson's retirement, Manchester United has seen the highs and the lows. And in the middle of all this, they managed to come out and win the FA Cup, beating Manchester City 2-1. Now, while winning the FA Cup is a major achievement, there is massive uncertainty that still looms large over the future of manager Erik Ten Hag, the under-fire manager Erik Ten Hag. The reasons are out there for all of us to see and, of course, realize. It's been a season of struggles for United. The biggest issue has been inconsistency. The club finished 8th in the Premier League points table and was heading towards no European competition the next year, though the FA Cup win has ensured a participation in the Europa League next season. Is it enough? Is it enough to silence the alarm bells that have been ringing in the corridors of the United management? Now, let's be honest, the club just about managed to seal that last spot at the very last moment in the weekend, and that is how their success has been in the recent years. Something that is hanging by the thread, quite like manager Erik Ten Hag's future at the club. Before this miracle win, of course, over the weekend and this title, there were many reports and rumours during the rounds that United will send off manager Erik Ten Hag. This is the last season for him. The club is said to have held talks with Chelsea ex-manager Mauricio Pochettino, Thomas Tuchel, Kieran McKenna and Thomas Frank, all candidates for the top job. So the door on Ten Hag was closing. And if the results had gone against United, our story today would have been a little different, because fans surely believed City would hammer United. All those tweets before the match even took place, before that game even took place, and very irate fans there, understandably so. But the FA Cup triumph has somehow swung the pendulum a bit, and Erik Ten Hag is hanging on. His hold on the job a little stronger thanks to that win. The fans who wanted Ten Hag out all started chanting his name right after that win.
1 Hag, 2 Hag, 3 Hag, 4 Hag, 5 Hag, 6 Hag, 7 Hag, 8 Hag, 9 Hag, 10 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 Hag, 10
How fortunes change in the matter of a few days, a few weeks. The same fans who were calling for his sacking, singing his name loud and clear. Now, his name was echoed through Wembley as he gave a glimmer of what could have been for Ten Hag and the squad with a nearly fully fit playing team at Wembley. And they showed what could have been United's season if they had had these set of players throughout the year. In his 2 seasons in charge, the Dutchman won 2 trophies, FA Cup this year and the Carabao Cup last year. Certainly not the kind of silverware that a Manchester United club is capable of. And that's why when the talks about his departure started during the rounds, Ten Hag gave it back to the club.
I'm in a project and we are exactly where we want to be. We're constructing a team. And when I took over, it was a mess at United. And we are on our way to construct a team for the future. Team is progressing and we're winning trophies. 2 trophies in 2 years is not bad. 3 finals is not bad, but we have to keep going. I'm not satisfied with it. We have to do better. And if they don't want me anymore, then I go anywhere else to win trophies, because that is what I did my whole career.
That's the thing about Ten Hag. He's always been defiant. He's always been confident every time there was a slump, every time there were questions asked. He isn't worried about being sacked. Not now, not then. He did what he could with the resources available. That's what he's always said. And that is why when Manchester United won the FA Cup, the dressing room penned down an emotional, heartfelt note to the fans, a letter signed by the full squad and manager Ten Hag. They admitted that the season was not good enough, but claimed the club is up for an exciting future. They've made promises that they will deliver. And here's the thing, at United, it has always been about the fans, a sort of culture that the OG manager Alex Ferguson had instated. United's decisions have often been influenced by its fans. When fans made the slogans of Glazers out in 2022, we saw a shift in the ownership with Jimmy Ratcliffe taking over. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, it was because of the backlash from the fans. Fans started the whole furore of sacking Erik Ten Hag as well at the end of the season. So it is no wonder that the players and the manager want to appease the fans. That's why the letter, a peace offering and a declaration of what they are promising to do, that they would like to get United back to those glory days and deliver. United fans, of course, always stay with the club. That's how they are. Through thick and thin, they stand by their team, cheering them on. Of course, there have been more lows this season than highs throughout.
Manchester United fans are unbelievable. If you take their energy like today and a few games also in the season, it's difficult to lose. They have a different energy than the rest of the clubs.
The club knows what a huge part the United fans have to play. They are almost investors. They're part investors in the saga that is Manchester United. A big reason why the decision on Ten Hag is impending and there isn't any resolution just yet. There ought to be conflict. New part owners, Ineos, headed by Jimmy Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford, are now conducting an end-of-season review to determine Ten Hag's future and that of the club as well. From lackluster performances on the pitch to managerial uncertainty of it, the club has seen it all this season. Is the FA Cup win enough for Erik Ten Hag to keep his job a while longer? With Rafael Varane leaving, Bruno Fernandes' future uncertain, do they have the potential to deliver on the promises their letter says of getting the club back to where it truly belonged? And more importantly, does Ratcliffe and company have the gumption to make bold decisions going by their gut and what they think works best for this club and not from any other point of view? It seems like the Mbappe soap opera just keeps getting juicier by the minute. The talk around him, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and even his presence at the Monaco GP cannot go without a bit of controversy. The storm around Mbappe is far from dying down just yet, and he's not even penned down a contract with Real Madrid officially. So let me get you up to speed. PSG won another domestic trophy, the Coupe de France, on May 25th. It was the final game for Mbappe in PSG colours. The Paris club defeated Lyon 2-0 to clinch the second title of the season. And while the talk should have been about PSG's victory and Mbappe's farewell, it was once again down to Kylian Mbappe leaving PSG for Real Madrid. This time it was the PSG president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, stoking the fire by saying Mbappe leaving as free agent was unfair to his side. The twists and turns, of course, are just starting. A day later, when Mbappe went to Monaco Grand Prix to catch a break, drama persisted there as well. Here's more.
A farewell is usually nostalgic. It's time to reflect and cherish the times gone by. That doesn't apply to Kylian Mbappe and PSG. The French forward was arguably one of the best players to have represented Paris Saint-Germain. But his exit from the club wasn't quite a fruitful one. Sure, fans may have given Mbappe a sweet send-off, but PSG bidding Mbappe bye-bye is turning out to be a sour one. Kylian Mbappe and PSG parted ways with a domestic triumph in Coupe de France on May 25th. While the atmosphere was electrifying in the PSG camp, it also meant Mbappe's exit was around the corner. That feeling was undeniable in the dressing room. Mbappe is a marked man now, in that just about everyone needs to get a word in. His decision of leaving one club and joining another doesn't seem to be as simple as swapping jerseys. In fact, before the final, French President Emmanuel Macron visited the team in the tunnel and had a chat with Kylian Mbappe. Just some days ago, reports came out that Real Madrid were not going to let Mbappe feature for France in the Olympics, leaving Macron grasping at straws. So it hasn't been smooth sailing for Mbappe, and this is just the beginning. The twists and turns keep coming. PSG President Nasser Al-Khelaifi has refused to come to terms with Mbappe leaving the club for Real Madrid. And like President Macron, he's done everything in his capacity to stop Mbappe from leaving. But Mbappe's conviction to join Real Madrid this year is such that no offer or no talks can stop the youngster. The latest is that a miffed PSG boss isn't happy letting Mbappe go for free.
You can't go for free and reinforce our greatest rival. All the great players, Bellingham, Kane, are leaving money to their club.
This is the same PSG that had the offer to sell Mbappe for $174 million to Real Madrid in 2021. In 2024, Mbappe is a free agent and joining any other club is well within his rights. Also, let's face it, PSG is one of the richest clubs in the world, so this statement made by Al-Khelaifi is just to ruffle feathers and make the move as difficult as he can. Mbappe decided to catch a breath at the Monaco Grand Prix, and while many other footballers like Virgil van Dijk, Mount Mason and others were present, only Mbappe had the honour of waving the checkered flag as Charles Leclerc crossed the line in first place. A historic win. Clearly what Mbappe expected at the races was a relaxing weekend far away from any football talk. But wait, Mbappe these days seems to be a drama magnet, and his bodyguard seems to have taken the onus to protect and bar anything untoward. Apparently, that also includes former F1 driver and a presenter Martin Brundle. He wanted to have a chat with Mbappe, but even before Brundle could get in a word, Mbappe's bodyguard stopped the F1 reporter. Miffed by the behavior of the bodyguard, Brundle cheekily stated, "It's okay, I'm in charge here." Maybe Mbappe wanted to just relax and enjoy the race without the conversation of his contract or any discussion about Real Madrid, the Olympics or PSG. Clearly, there's no peace for a while now. Be it Real Madrid denying him to represent France at the Olympics earlier last week, or his tussle with PSG owners and the president over leaving for free, Mbappe just can't catch a break. And maybe all this is a bit too much for a 25-year-old. The scrutiny, the focus, and it's not even about his game. Another weekend, another chapter in the never-ending Kylian Mbappe saga. Who needs soap operas when you have football and Kylian Mbappe at the centre of it all?
Time for Last Serve. It's Monday, the start of another week, and Manchester City has given us the best possible way to feel the Monday blues. They held their Premier League victory parade, and the city was bathed in blue. What a happy, successful club, football club, looks like. That does it here on Firstpost. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.